everybody, it's Kim Snyder from The Voice Club. I am so excited to bring you another great How to Sing, a very important patriotic song for all of my fellow Americans for this great 4th of July and all of those to come. We could use some great patriots this holiday, could we not? That's why I've decided to cover some of our very best patriotic songs and help you to sing them better. I hope that wherever you're at this 4th of July, you will have a wonderful patriotic celebration. I'm close to Seattle. Ain't gonna happen. I am literally leaving the state to go to a neighboring state who is patriotic just so I can have the opportunity to sing these songs with somebody else. So whether you get a chance to in your own community or not, do it. I hope to make that easier for you. By the way, as I said, I'm Kim Snyder. I'm a professional singer, certified vocal coach, and creator of the Voice Club method. I do what really no one else does. I have a very unique vocal education that no one else in recorded history has had, and that has given me the opportunity to teach singers how to sing better, faster, unlock what's going on in their vocal machine, and actually know how they did it so that you can enjoy singing and really get the joy from it. That's my goal, and I hope the tips I'm going to give you today are going to help you to do that in this song. I'm going to give you some really easy tips to sing God Bless the USA better, faster, the Voice Club method way. Now, if you've heard any of my other videos, you'll hear me saying all the time our big quote at the Voice Club, which is sing the story, not the song. Because singing is not about notes. It's not about words even. It's about communicating a message through notes. That's the job of being a singer. But we get so caught up in hitting notes and how we're going to sound and how we're going to look that we never actually get to communicating. Did you know that that's actually the difference between a good singer and a great performer? How well you communicate the story, even when the notes don't go as planned. But they should, if you have the obstacles out of your way. What are obstacles? We're always talking about vocal obstacles. And if you've had either singing tips that you've gotten on the web, or you've listened to other people sing and tried to sing like them, all the way to if you have 2 vocal master's degrees, well, then you have more obstacles. The things that we've been taught simply do not add up to what is anatomically going on in the voice. I found this out the brutal way, and my life's mission now is to tell you, avoid it. There's a quicker way to sing easier and better and faster and enjoy it so much more. Now, to communicate through this song, we first want to go back to the original writer, the author of the story, which in this case is Lee Greenwood. He's a country artist, and he wrote this song while he was on tour back in the mid-'80s. Now, an artist that gets to tour around, everybody thinks this is a really cool thing, but I started working in radio when I was 16, and I knew by the time I was 19 and an independent artist on a label, I knew that I never wanted to tour. It was like my life's goal, never to tour. Because I saw how these guys were as soon as they got off the stage. They were exhausted. They were beat. They were getting sick all the time. They were lonely. They were away from their families. And I thought, there are a lot of other places I could sing, and I don't want to be away from my family that much. But one great opportunity when you do get to tour around as a singer, and by the way, you don't need to be with a label to do this. You can literally set up performances in whatever kind of music you do, and set up dates and go sing. There are ways to do it. But when you get to enough different places, you get to see what people are like. And because country artists tend to go to the heartland cities more often, they get to see a whole different level of patriot. And that's why a lot of country bands will write patriotic songs. They're exposed to this patriotism much more than some of the artists that will go, to other countries or just stay on the fringes of the country. So Lee Greenwood is on his tour bus, and he's thinking about all of these people that just love America, and it inspires him to write this very patriotic song, which he writes, of course, just as another song that he's writing. He was overwhelmed at the response to people when he sang this song, and that's how it's wormed its way into other genres of music and become a very important patriotic song to all of us Americans. Now, the story, or as we call it, the song, became popular in the early 80s. But it wasn't until the Gulf War in the early 90s that this song came to the forefront again. You'll see this a lot with patriotic songs. They're written a long time ago, but something happens and we're all drawn back to our patriotic core. And those songs become new and they evolve and they change. And if you know anything about what's going on in America, around the world, but let's just take America for right now, This is a place where our nation is going to change. This is the perfect time for us to come together as we the people and remember the beauty of our country and the things that we unite around. There are never going to be a shortage of things we divide on, but it is our job to find the things that we unite on. That's what patriotic songs do. That's why you should be singing them every chance you get. I know I need them too. Now, this song is one of the longer patriotic songs we sing because it was not written long ago when songs were really much shorter. And it was written by a country artist, and country artists tend to write longer stories that become songs. So we've done what I have all my singers do, and that is to take the poorly configured lyrics off the internet, usually incorrect lyrics, take all of the commas out, read it as a story, and write it out in sentence structure. When you do this, it will automatically enable you to communicate the actual message, the story of the song much better, because you're not thinking in four words, four words, four words, down here, down there, down there, down there, and 16 pages later. Write it out as a story. And the repeat parts that repeat the words, you don't need to write them more than once. I just put them in bold so I know where they're at. I'll show you in this song how I do that. Now, before I get to these tips, I do have to give you a little disclaimer. There are no quick, easy fixes for problems that are in your voice. There are literal wrenches in the vocal machine that have been put there either by copying other singers, by getting the wrong vocal advice, and in my experience, 95% of it is the wrong vocal advice. And I don't mean according to what my opinion is of what vocal advice should be. I mean what I have learned about the anatomy of the voice, what it requires, what it will do when it can do, and what it refuses to do when we screw with it. That's what I mean. But these tips are a starting point for you. When you sing these songs and you feel like it's hard to sing something, you don't like the way it sounds, all the way to it falls apart and embarrasses you horribly, these are going to be little weapons you can start to use. They don't fix everything all the time. They're not meant to. Never believe anyone who says they've got a quick fix that you can always apply to notes on a certain song or all songs. It doesn't work like that. The body's much more complex. But these will get you a good start so that you can feel what it's like in your own voice when some of those wrenches are temporarily moved out of the way a little bit. Okay? Let's take a look at our lyrics and we'll walk through it together. All right, we have a lot of words in this song. And you'll see that I have the middle part bold. As I told you before, when I write out a story, I like to write it out in sentences so my brain understands it's a story and it should be communicated as such, not just phrases where I breathe every fourth word, because when I talk to you, I don't stop and take a breath every 3 or 4 words. That just sounds like I have a lung condition. It's not communication. We don't talk like that. We shouldn't sing like that. We only stop and take breaths, not because we don't have breath support, but because we don't have muscle support. It's what almost all of us are missing. So when I write out the story, I'll write out the first part of the story. The chorus is the theme of the story. This is going to repeat with a couple differences. Sometimes it's going to say that I'm proud or and I'm proud. None of that really matters. This is a part, with the exception of that word, it's all going to repeat. So I put this in bold. This does some things for my brain. When I'm learning a song really quick, I don't want to be focused on lyrics any longer than I have to learn. This helps me to learn the story, and it helps it to lock faster in your brain because it's written as a story. And I also visually always know where things lie. Just by I can look at the page, I know this is a verse, that's a chorus. I don't have to scan through 6 pages of 3-4 words to find it. Little tricks, really helpful to learning how to sing songs faster, learn them faster so that you can get to the good part, which is communicating. All right. Now, in this series of patriotic songs, I am singing these songs in all sorts of different keys. There is no magic key for a guy. There is no magic key for a girl. For years as a professional singer, the band would ask me, what's my key? It does not exist. Nobody seems to know it. Now you do. We'll keep it our little secret. Here's the real secret. Your brain does not want you to be embarrassed. It's your brain's job to avoid it, which is why we pull back when we're singing a song and we feel like it's going to fall apart. And that usually causes more problems. If we don't know what to do instead, your brain's just protecting you. But your brain has really one very smart feature. Well, probably lots, but at least this one. If you'll start singing a song in any key that comes to mind, if you'll just start singing a song, you'll find probably over 90% of the time, your brain will pick a key that is most comfortable for where your voice is right now. That means what you do well, what you struggle with. Your brain is real familiar with what's going on and how you feel about it in your voice. So if you ever have a chance to pick a key for a song, your key is wherever around the area where your brain seems to pick it. That's always the best place. You'll find that where your brain picks the key, even if you can sing in 7, 8 different keys, and if you think that's impossible, that is what every voice is designed to do. If we had the wrenches out, you would be doing that probably a lot more than that. But even if we can sing in all those different keys, you're going to find that some of them just feel nicer. We like the quality of our voice in some keys. Maybe it allows us to do some of our little bells and whistles kind of things that we like to do. And they're fun. And if you can do them, why not, right? I mean, if I look good in a leather skirt, I'd wear one. But I trill instead. So if you're stuck in a karaoke track or with an arrangement with sheet music or a band is playing, you're stuck in a key, you're going to find that you will probably have more problems in a song than you will if you can pick your own key. And I'm going to give you step by step some fixes to put in place in order to help start removing some of those obstacles so that you feel better about it and you're able to work on the story instead of just remembering the words on the notes. All right, we've got a beautiful setup to our story. If tomorrow all my things were gone, I'd work for all my life. Now, if we were singing this the way it was written on a lyric site, I would sing, if tomorrow all my things were gone, I'd worked for all my life. That doesn't even make sense if I were to say that. If tomorrow all my things were gone, I'd worked for all my life. If I don't tie those together, they don't even make sense. And I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. Okay, now this melody is pretty easy on most voices, unless they put you in a really terrible key. So the best thing you can do to make sure the best of your voice comes forward immediately is always on the first percussive sound on the first syllable of every song. Our voice doesn't run on air. It doesn't run on breath support. And everything we've been told for literally hundreds of years is wrong. But I will tell you this, and you can prove it in your own voice. If you will put a little line under the I of if and say this. Say if, like you say if. Now say I. And say if. This little I sound allows the muscles in your vocal machine, which is the engine. It's the pistons in the engine. It allows that engine to go around, get started. Now, if you start this really soft, and this song does start soft, if I had a la 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 la, a da 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 da, then you need that breath. If you have to breathe in the middle, your engine is not fully engaged. But if you will start it with a little bit of, if tomorrow all my things were gone, I'd la da 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 da, and you got another one here. Da 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 da. Now there's a lot of different words for this. By the way, if you hear singing terms and you're memorizing things, because like I used to, if I knew this word and everybody means this, let me just pop that balloon. There are so many different definitions between different singers and vocal coaches and singing teachers for the same words. I literally tried to research this for a few years and I found that it is insane to even try. So call it a cry, a creak, a fry, call it whatever you want, whatever sticks with your brain. The most important thing is, instead of you may have heard me say before, H is a singer's number one enemy. That sound cannot carry sound. It is a not a. If we'll go, if tomorrow all my things were gone, I'd work for all my life. Slow it down and practice giving a little in those places. You'll find that that line is so stable, you will not need to take a breath. Okay? And I had to start again with just my children and my wife. And is another place where we get a. Just remember, if you can get a sound or anything similar, you are literally revving up your vocal engine. Okay? It's a beautiful thing. I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. Okay, now we have a 'cause. We're not going to go k, 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 because that's not a sustainable sound. We're going to go cuz. Now I'm doing it fast. I've done it for a long time. Well, it's really difficult to get your brain to think about the instead of the k. Take them really slow. Practice this all the time. Whenever you find a little something you can go into at the beginning of every line, that's your golden point to rev your engine, okay? If tomorrow all my things were gone, I got a safety backup. I'd worked for all my life and I had to start again. Here's my safety. With all my children and my wife. Find you have to take a breath there. Then you got to rev your engine again. And your whoa is your place to do that. I thank my lucky stars. No, you can't make sound on that. To as an option. Or B. We actually have an option here or here. This gets a little bit more detailed. I don't have time to get into that. Let me just say, in the middle of the line, you find another one. If you have to take a breath, that means your engine is not revved. You got to find another place to get it. Get it going. To be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. You don't have to do that little trill, by the way. When someone does a trill in a recording, it is not the way to sing it, and you're not a good singer unless you do that trill. It's just what that artist liked about their own voice. They did it because it's easy and it makes them happy. What do you do instead that makes it fun for you to sing? Maybe it's to hold that note out or just hold it and get big. They can't take that away. It doesn't matter. There is no scale, even though singers would like to lead you to believe otherwise, and honestly a lot of coaches would too. There is no definable difference in an audience if you do way or way. The audience doesn't care. You know what they care about? If you look like you're communicating. When you get audience goes, whoa, because there's a whole lot of communication going on with that singer. Now, here's the exception. Mariah Carey, melisma, which just means trills. That's her thing, right? That's her signature sound. So if you want to be a really poor secondhand copy of somebody, just try to copy what they do easily. If you'd like to be a great singer, find what you like about your voice. Find the key that your brain thinks you sound great in. Ideally, sing in that key whenever you get a chance. And the rest of the time, what do you like about your voice? Do you like it when you hold out a note? Is there one trill that you like and you like to put it in because you feel comfortable with it? What is your thing? Use that. That's what makes you unique. And that's what moves you from the category of being a poor copy into being an artist. Okay? So, and you can't take that away. Number one mistake you can make besides not finding these little places to rev up your vocal machine is to cut things off. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today. 'Cause the flag still stands for freedom. They can't take that away. We want to get out of there. It's like, don't stay there. We might get embarrassed. But trust me, if you'll rev your engines in these places, you'll be able to hold on to those notes. And holding a note out, believe it or not, I've tested this. I tested this for 2 years. I tested if I did some fancy, really amazing, something I thought I'd worked on a long time, made me such a good singer. I tested same songs with different crowds. If I did the fancy stuff, or if I just picked an easy note and held it and looked like ta-da. And you know what? The crowd response was exactly the same. So does it make us feel better about ourselves if we can do something fancy? Sure. And if we can do something fancy and develop it, why not? It's supposed to be fun. But when it comes to impressing a crowd, all it takes is holding a note, because most people can't do it and they're afraid to. You can hold this note out if you'll get your engine revved in these places. Let's get to this chorus. Oh, now usually the verse is easy. We get to the chorus, it gets a little bit more difficult. I'm going to put it in a higher key because you're going to suffer. Why shouldn't I? That I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. All right. Now, TH has an H in it. Did you notice that? If you find that you need to take a lot of breaths or that your voice kind of like backs out of places, circle your H's and know that's where your enemies are hiding. They just are. That guess what? That means that H needs to be little and my ow needs to happen on the that I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. I cheated. I went down a couple keys. You see what I did there? My brain did that to me. You ever find when you sing a song, you start singing at one key and you switch? It's not because you're not a good singer, it's because your brain knows you're going to fail and it doesn't want you to. Isn't that amazing? Stop blaming your voice. Okay. And I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. And okay. All right, let's start here. That I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. Okay. If you get that I'm proud to be an American, and I'm changing the melody a little bit, but you get the gist of it. That I'm proud to be an American is where your problem is going to be. This is not can. By the way, if you have a Southern accent, this is going to be more difficult for you. Or if you're from Southern California. It has to do with how we say things. And how we pronounce things can cause another obstacle in our vocal machine. So we're going to narrow this a little bit. Proud to be an American. We're going to go American. No comments from the peanut gallery. And I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. If you'll change this, it'll probably fix the rest of it, make it easier for you. And the next notes you don't even need. But if you find you're singing through this and you're doing this, you're not going to go American. You're going to look at it this way. Your brain will split the difference. Let it be an American where at least I know I'm free. If it still doesn't feel easy, then your next problem is here. At least. And I'm going to write lest. Where at least I know I'm free. Now, I would, if I had a really bad problem, like American, then I'm going to probably start American, and then I'm going to back up from there. I'm taking this at super speed. So slow down. Anything you slow down is much easier for your brain to learn so that it can allow the vocal machine to do it. Okay? Slow is always best. Where at least I know I'm free. Now, if free hurts, it started way back here on American. Just saying. I'm going to give you those two places to fix if you need them. And I won't. Get used to that little row. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. Probably, and I won't forget the man who died. It's going to be right about here. I want you to let your brain think it's D-A-W-D. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave. Might be a problem if it is. If you narrow this, man who died, and the rest of it doesn't feel easy, then you probably want to do this one too. Give, G-E-V. Gave that right to me. Usually you'll feel it right about right, but the problem always happens sooner than we feel it. The reason we feel that it's gone wrong is because it already went wrong. And then we kept singing, and it just got worse. And then we notice it. So whenever you feel it's gone wrong, it happened before then. Just, there are a few other places that will narrow things a different way. Narrowing is not a magic tool. And when you narrow something, the way you narrow it, when you narrow it, there is literally no formula that works all the time for every voice. So just don't buy it. I'm giving you some tools in this particular song that will work in any key. You only need to implement them, and they're just one way to fix, okay? But only need to implement them if you find you're singing this song in the key you have to perform in or the key you're singing along to, and you find that it's not easy. At the very least, not easy. At the worst, horrific and embarrassing. Okay? Either way, this is going to start to fix that. The tool in itself, the tool of changing some of these things has no magic. It's the shift that we're making in the way the anatomy is functioning that's making it feel easier. And the goal of me giving you this particular tool is just to let you feel how easy it can be to sing some of these notes so that you understand your voice can do a whole lot more than you think, and so that you can enjoy your patriotic holiday. Let's go on. And I'll gladly stand up next to you. Let's start there. And I'll gladly. Now, this is the problem for everybody. Now you go up. Oh no, there's that big note. Up. But if we go, and I'll gladly stand up, I'm going to make this stunned. I am stunned. I'm stunned. And I'm up because I just been stunned. And I'm gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. If I were singing this lower, and it doesn't matter what key you sing this in, when it doesn't feel easy, That's how you know somewhere before that there was a wrench in your system. That means some way that your vocal machine is trying to approach notes that it is not meant to. Singing the right way does not hurt. It does not take a lot of effort. Even really big power singing does not feel like it takes a lot of work if you do it correctly, if you let the machine run like the Lamborghini it is. The problem is 95, probably 98% of all vocal advice in the world has come from places that make no sense when you look at how the voice anatomically functions. It's crazy. And I'll gladly stand up next to you. Up is a throwaway. Stand up, stand up. You just get off of it. Stand is your problem. Stand up next to you and defend her still today. You should have no problem with the rest of the line, but if you do, make sure that your D is defend. Defend. And defend, not D. Defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Oh no, land. I could tell you 6 reasons why this goes wrong, but we're just gonna fix it. But there ain't no doubt I love. You remember when I was giving you a little bit of digging in? Where do we get that going? That little engine to start? 'Cause I ain't no doubt I love this land. Lund. I love this Lund. This Lund. Okay? 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Now, needs to be in there. It's really short if you do it that way. If you don't need to. But if you get that engine revving at the beginning and you keep land from going land, you're going to be better off. But if I start singing, 'cause there ain't no doubt, and I'm like, I feel the floor falling out even if no one else hears it yet, then I need to go, I love this land. Quick recovery. No one will ever know. Trust me. God bless the USA. Now, if you've seen any of the other patriotic songs or any of the how to sing song videos that I've done, you'll know that G is a blessing from the Lord on high. G is the most percussive sound we have in the English language. G, G. When we say G, it is like the biggest turnover of your Ferrari engine. G is just beautiful. H is an enemy. H is like, pff. So it's L, H, F, B, all those little sounds. G goes round. When you see a G, you know you're going to be fine. Don't back away from a G. It's there to help you. God bless the USA. But when you see soft things like TH, the, this, the, WH, those are problem areas, okay? How do we avoid those? We can't take THs out. We make sure we go God, not G, little g, capital H, capital H, capital H. H is your enemy, no matter what you've heard. If you have a vocal degree, you've been taught the opposite, and it has been a waste of money. I'm sorry. I have wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars, so I'm in the same camp. God bless the USA. And you'll find that the more you go G on God, the better you'll be able to hang on to USA and do anything you want with it. You'll be able to hold it out, trill on it, do something creative, or just go, yeah. Are you with me, people? Yes, my countryman. Okay, let's go to verse 2. And we'll stay in this key because it's higher than it should be for me. So let's do it. From the lakes, let's take it up. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee. Now we've got a fr little sound. So guess where we turn over the engine? From. Now, if you have not done this before, it feels weird. It feels awkward, and it feels like you can't say the word. That's okay. Just get used to the feeling. It takes a lot of repetition because it's a new habit. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, we have an enemy in our midst. But we have an ill. Ill. That's a great place. Now, we don't need this one. If it feels easy the whole line, you don't need this second one. But you'd be surprised how much you run through a song and it feels great, and then you go to sing it like at a run through, or you go to the performance, and you're like, I need a safety. If you put these down, you'll already have locked it in your brain where the safeties are. Where can I rev my engine if I need to, if it feels like it's falling apart on me? From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee. Now, when I started practicing that, I did it really slow. And if you're just starting at it, it's going to be difficult. So take the H out. From the hills of Tennessee, until that becomes more comfortable. And even if you just back off of the L a little bit and don't put the H back in, people really won't notice. From the hills of Tennessee to from the hills of Tennessee. I didn't say an H in there. I just backed off enough that your brain heard it because it's heard this song before. That's the beauty of standards. Across the plains of Texas, we gotta go to row. From sea to shining sea. Now the melody of this verse is pretty easy for singers. It's another reason it became a big hit because it's easy to sing along with. Did you know that the direction of the notes is sometimes responsible for how horrible a song is to really sing without feeling awful? This one really helps us. From Detroit down to Houston, we have an H. Houston, but we can go a little right in the middle. Houston, and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart. However you sing that line, well, there's pride in every American heart. And remember, if it feels hard at the end of this, you got a can instead of a con. If you don't need it, don't use it. And it's time we stand and say, and is going to be bad. If you're singing this in a key that is a little uncomfortably high, and is going to want to go and cause a problem. So we will tell your brain that is A-N-W or A-W-N-D. And it's time we stand and say, here too, A-W-N-D. And because I'm making myself sing this super high, I'm going to pull out all my safeties. I'm going to go, and it's time. If you want to go ta, and you want to put an I'm in it, it doesn't come in until you let off of the note. And it's time at the very last second. We stand and say. By the way, say is S-E-H. And then we go back into the chorus again. Now, this is a very fast flyover of just one way that we can begin to get some of those wrenches out of the system that make this song hard to sing. Why do we want to do that? Well, we want it to be easier. We want it to be easier so that it's more fun. But all of that is just a means to the end. What is the end? To be able to sing a song that other people sing along with, to communicate the message of patriotism. There's nothing like singing this song to a group and they start singing along because almost everyone knows most of this song. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend our steel today. Ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the U.S.A. Oh, by the way, A is not A-Y. It's E-H. Bonus tip. I hope that helps you to sing this song better, faster, so that you can get to communicating the story. There has never been a time before in this country's history where we need to gather together as patriots, as people who understand, appreciate, and value the blessings that our unique country gives to us, and to spread that fire. It's time for us to stand up and say, we love this land. God bless it, and be united. I hope being able to sing this song better, faster, enables you to spread the fire faster. Until next time, get out there and sing.